Hello, it's me here once again, and today we're going to be beginning the Saxon Discography, starting with the first album. Before we get into it, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe down below. And yeah, now we're getting into Saxon. Throw on your denim and leather, put on the wheels of steel, fight the strong arm of the law, because innocent is no excuse to rock the nation and fulfill your destiny of hearing about the great Saxon. Now, Saxon's first album was released May 79 on Carrere Records, which is a French label that was based out of the UK. Did a lot of work in disco and hard rock. So for them, this is something different. And it's produced by John Veridi, who of the John Veridi band, who released songs Schoolgirl and 5,000 Miles, which I really enjoy. And also the band Argent for Uriah Heep fans. Uriah Heep covered one of their songs. And I also believe a band called Circus. But enough about that. Genre is heavy metal, or the new wave of British heavy metal, however you want to put it. Length is 28 minutes and 54 seconds, which is actually kind of a very short record, but considering it's the new wave of British heavy metal, it's kind of one of those, let's just see what it is, if it sells kind of thing. Saxon features the great Biff Byford in vocals, Graham Oliver on guitar, Paul Quinn on guitar, Steve Dawson on bass, and Pete Gill on drums. Now let's start off with the first song, but before I get into that, the new wave of British heavy metal really had a bunch of differing ideas. You kind of had that punk influence, prog, heavy metal. It kind of melded a lot of all that together, hard rock, into glam, I guess you could also say, all into this whole genre, where every band was kind of doing something a little bit different, which is something I like. But let's start off with the first song, Rainbow Theme. I love the bass intro into the riff. I love the tempo change and how Pete Gill really gets to shine and show off on a lot of this album, but especially this song. The lyrics have a kind of fantasy element to them, and the vocals are very Dio-esque, rainbow, that kind of thing. Like, it was really fantasy-laden lyrics that Uriah Heep, I guess, could also be thrown in there. I like the twin guitars into the vocal harmonies, and it moves into Frozen Rainbow, which I believe it's really one song that just has two parts on the album. I love how the solo carries from the previous song. Such emotion, which is something I like in guitar solos, where you can kind of feel it right away. I like how the drums lead into the riff, into the tempo change, until it fades out. It really is a good opener. It's kind of, though, little misleading of what Saxon kind of was. It kind of didn't feel like that new wave. It felt more like a proggy sort of fantasy, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Uriah Heep kind of song. On to song number 3, Big Teaser. I love the riff and how the drum fills the dead air, where it's like the riff stops and he just drums in that section, so it sort of fills it all out. I like the energy. I love the chorus. She's a big teaser type stuff. I really enjoy that from this. It's a great song. I like the vocal harmonies underneath, and I like how the guitar sounds like it's soaring at times. On to song number 4, Judgment Day. I love the drum into the opening riff. The riff is just infectious. It really is. I love the fast-paced vocals in the chorus. I love the tempo change to this clean guitar section. And the drum builds underneath it. And it allows Biff Byford to really show off a differing vocal pattern than just being fast-paced punk energy or some other stuff. But this really did show him off very well. I love the groove section into the solo and how the solo ends. And I like how it ends with Biff doing the Judgment Day, just holding that Judgment Day there. On to song number 5, Stallions of the Highway. I love the intro. Has kind of that Deep Purple Highway Star kind of feel to it. The song obviously is about, they have to love motorcycles, because this song, and then you get the next album, Wheels of Steel. Very much so. I love the vocals, love the solo, and really love the drumming throughout this entire album. Song number 6, Backs to the Wall, has kind of that AC/DC feel to it, if you get what I mean. I love the solo and the rhythm underneath. I love the change in groove and vocal style. but it's one of those that it's kind of is what it is. Song number 7, Still Fit to Boogie. I like the twin guitars. Has kind of that poppy metal sound that you got throughout the 80s. I like the energy to it. I do like the solo. I like the kind of bluesy ending to it, which is something different. It's almost into that. It goes from this really aggressive to almost this blues metal sound. On to song number 8, the final song on the album, Militia Guard. I love the military sounding drum intro into a guitar riff. I love how just it builds, and then you get an acoustic guitar thrown in there. It has kind of this new wave of vocal style on it. I'm not sure what the hell it is. It's just something way different that I wasn't expecting. I was wondering if it was almost just an experiment to say, hey, does it work? I like the tempo change of the vocal harmonies into a riff, and like the mini solo in here. Love the guitar under the drums. Like, it's building. The drums are there steady, but the guitar underneath keeps building, and I love the change into the solo that ends the song. So this is Saxon's debut album. Now my thoughts on it. It's kind of an album that, very much like Pink Floyd, Uriah Heep's first album, it sounds like a band trying to find itself, not knowing exactly choosing one direction or the other. You have elements of prog, you have elements of punk, you have elements of metal, you have elements of hard rock, almost blues. It's kind of just a modge podge of just different stuff. Best song on the album for me is Judgment Day. I really like that song. Worst song, just to me, is Still Fit to Boogie. It just kind of is that cheese that didn't quite work. It has moments on it, but compared to some of the other songs on the album, I felt like it was one of the weaker songs. Hidden gem off here is Stallions of the Highway. Now having foresight of knowing where they're going, that's kind of why Stallions of the Highway worked for me. Now, the thing about production about these new wave of British heavy metal records are you can't really judge production too much, per se, because of the whole, they were kind of cheap records to produce, so they were kind of like, okay, in quick, end it, you don't really get that time to fine-tune it. John Veridi, just to me, always seemed like a weird choice. But it's not a bad thing. He mixed, he produced it. It does sound good. A lot of the music sounds good. You can tell this band is tight as hell listening to them. If I had to give it a grade out of 5, I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5. To me, it's a slightly above average album. There are great moments on here. Like I said, Judgment Day is a great song. Big Teaser's a good song. Even the sort of proggier, more melodic numbers, such as Rainbow Theme and Frozen Rainbow with Militia Guard, are very good. Backs to the Wall, Stallions of the Highway. It really is a good record all around. But yeah, that's my review of Saxon's debut album, 1979. Once again, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe. This is me here signing out. Rock on.